Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. All right, we are on the cusp of the great American holiday, Thanksgiving. It really starts to roll along tonight. Markets are closed here in the States tomorrow. Some markets don't open up again until Monday. They take a European point of view of it all. I always like to say that, kind of laugh. And at the same time, Friday's market is half day open. Closes at 12:30, I think it is, or 1 o'clock, one or the other, depending on what it is. So let's check it out. Let's see what's going on this morning. Let's take a look at the dollar index. Right there. Nope, that one right there. There we go. Okay. Right there. There is the dollar index. Let's find it right there. There we are. And you can see we're pressuring down, same situation as, went into a sell yesterday. I think on the screen you can see we are in a sell. Let's see, let's get that mouse over there. And right there on the spreadsheet. There it is. So we're 8 weeks in a buy. Let's see, we'll go like this way so you can highlight it like that. 8 weeks in a buy. And 1 day in a sell. Now we're a second day in a sell. And obviously we go right to the bonds and take a look and see what they're doing with interest rates, so forth and so on. There is the 30-year bond right there. You can see it's been climbing up for 3 days, or at least it's been leaped up 2 days back. Today's the third day that it's pushing up. It's in a buy. Let's grab one of these greens right there. And at the same time, I have two different weekly algorithms. I've been looking at the 4-6, and we always follow the 3-5 right there. There's the 4-6. I just thought it'd be interesting to see. I don't need it now. I was wondering if it led a little bit more or less, kind of like the way the 50 does, but it's not that important at this point. Matter of fact, I think I'll turn it off. Let me just turn it off. Turn it off. Indicators. Right there. Do the like that. Close. There we are. And you can see we're inching our way up. We're trying to get into the buy. You can see the fast is right on the edge. The slow is very close. It's only at like 15 or 16 or something like that. Yeah, 16. If you see the green line is at 31, you just double it all the time. You know what it is. And because it's a standard deviation, so it's double the white histogram. We're seeing some, I guess you could say, is there reasons for interest rates to go down now? There's actual speculation that we're going to see a rate cut in December, which is hard to believe, but there's serious talk about it. Are betting. Let's say they're betting on it. You can see on the what do you call it? The futures contract, the bond futures contract is projecting that they may, it's almost like a coin flip, 50-50. It's like 51% believe that there might be a cut, 49% don't believe there's a cut. So that's pretty close. That we're kind of like stuck in the neutral situation there. I don't think there's going to be a cut in December. I'd be surprised, but there is talk that a cut in December, and then the January no cut, and then in March they'll see. There's the contracts are projecting that there's no opinion, which is interesting. There's no opinion about a cut in March, and there's definitely a strong opinion there is no cut in January, but there's almost a 50-50 opinion that there'll be a cut in December. So it's the markets. That's what they're all about. That's what they're supposed to be all about. And let's see, double check our sound. Yep, that is there. The sound is all good. Okay, just wanted to double check there. I see a couple people rolling in. And so since the bonds are rising, we automatically assume that interest rates are dropping, which is a good thing because, we've seen how when the right here, when in September they cut interest rates a half a percentage point, instead of the bond price going up, the bond price fell. And so, in other words, it took away the 0.5% cut. It took a while for it to take it away. They had to all the way up to the end of November. And then you can see it's bottoming out in here. We've vacillated in and out. We have gone into, we went into the sell there. Let's scrunch this up and steal a couple of lines from different areas. There's one right there. So then we went into the buy again for a day right there, but we're in a weekly sell, so no one actually gets long on that unless you have a position already, then you're hedging it. And then the next day, we got a sell again, and it broke down again. And then we went into the buy right here, which is interesting. So let's see if we can steal another green line somewhere. There it is. We'll steal that green line. So then we went back into the buy, possibly right there. We'll widen it out and see. Did a cute little sell right there for a day. And let's widen it out now so we can see it much closer. So this is where the 0.5% interest rate cut came right there. And obviously the market shook it off and said, no, we don't trust you. And then, let's see, what is that? Yep, that's the buy right there. You can see it there. Plot 1 is 0.01, and plot 4 is actually 0.02. And so it was pushing into the buy there, and then they pushed it into a sell. I guess it's like last Friday. Yeah, last Friday right there. And then you can see, it's now back into the buy on Monday morning. And the weekly is trying, but so far not getting us there yet. And that, because of that, then we go over to the pairs trade, or let's go back to that on the bond, and we'll put up the dollar index again. Right there, dollar index has that basically almost, I would like to say a mirror image of it, and pretty much pushing down the same way. Monday it was still in the buy, then Tuesday they push it into the sell. Here's Wednesday, it's in the sell, and at the same time we've been in that weekly buy for a while. I really have I just think we're watching more of what you would call profit taking. We're really not looking at like some major move as far as I can tell. It just, oh, okay. So here, interesting. All right, so what you see here right there is that the dollar index is sideways down. That spike up to the 108, that's a lot, Again, markets like to speculate. They like to buy on the rumor and then kind of sell on the news. And in this case here, you got that spike on, up to 108, and now they've basically driven it back down to 106.43. That's pretty good. As we take a sip of our tea. I kind of think we're going to see that. I don't think we're going to see any major dollar moves, but we'll see. That's a pretty good move from there to there. But then we really had a hard time believing we were going to rush right to the 10. Hell, I thought this would be the tough area right here, the 104, 105 area. Here we go to 108. I think that's a little ahead of the curve. A lot of things kind of function like interest rates. They like to go softly in a direction, not necessarily explode in a direction. So then we go over and take a look at, like the euro. And here's the euro, and you can see the euro is trying to do the same thing. We had a green and a red, but still in the minus. Now today, Remember at one point yesterday when we looked at the euro, it was actually, the histogram was up into the plus and then it backed off. Remember, we were at those highs, hitting that Fibonacci number of the 0.38. As a matter of fact, let me do a commercial for Dukascopy. Can I put that up there? Where can I put that up there? And then Dukascopy will be doing, let me see if I can do this without blowing up the whole place. There's a Fibonacci webinar. Let's see if we can do this. Something like that. Let's see, webinars. There's a Fibonacci webinar. Let's see, we'll find it in a second. In about a half hour after our webinar. So, you know, well worth tuning into. Let's see if I can find that. Where is it? We'll find it so you can see it. Markets, education, let's see, banking. We'll find it in a second. We went to the Dukascopy TV, and I think that brings us to the webinars. Let's see, where is it at? Just thought I'd throw a commercial out there. I want to get it up on the screen. This particular computer, I don't have that bookmarked. Let's see, streaming. Let me just go over and double check it over here real quick. This way I can put it up on the screen for you, because I think it's well worth looking at. You know, anytime, there it is. Trading Fibonacci. Let's see, how do I get there? It's the youtube.com channel, I guess. Is that what it is? Let's see if we can do this. YouTube. I'm going to bookmark this too, so I don't mean to torture you, but I do want you to see it. You know, that there's a YouTube. Let's see, where is it? YouTube.com. This way we'll have it bookmarked. When there's an interesting thing that I see on the webinar, it's well worth having up there. YouTube. There we are. YouTube.com / again channel u / UC MPH HD7 IC capital G 9 capital P C RP undersigned, and then SS capital Z U Q B W E G. See what happens there. Go fish. What do you mean go fish? All right, let's see. How can we get this? You know what? I think I can put it up over here instead, and we'll just screen share it into you. Was it trading webinars? Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just do that. Go like this. Dukascopy webinars. Let's try that. Dukascopy webinars. Let's see if that'll do it. Disability? No. Dukascopy. Let's see. Dukascopy Academy. Let's try that. Let's see, backspace. Boy, they really fight not to let you have things sometimes. Ducoscopy Academy. There it is. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. I knew I could get this figured out. There we go. Alright, and so here is what I was talking about. This one right here. Confirmation in Fibonacci and the rules. I think that's great. Forex. I think traders should pay attention to stuff like that. When I see... Oh, let me do this. Let me... Oh, shoot. Where'd it go? Alright, let's go find it. And I'm going to bookmark it. This way we don't go through this... the whole adventure there. Alright, let's do this. Oh, there it is right there. Ducoscopy Academy. Go back again. We'll bookmark that. And so now, yes, perfect. Let's bookmark that onto the trade bar, no less. This way, see it's right there. Oh, we have one up there already. How about that? Okay. Didn't realize that. Sorry about that, traders, to drive you so crazy. But I think it's well worth emphasizing. I think, you know, that's the way I feel about this stuff, you know. Just move that back over to there. There we go. So, yeah, there's a webinar about a half hour after this one about Fibonacci, and I think it's well worth paying attention to. And you can see right here, you know, right there, you can see that it's bounced off of one of the Fibonacci numbers right there. And, you know, it went into a sell right there the day before, hit the Fibonacci number, and then now it's trying to climb back into the buy. Our math is telling, and it's at the same time, it's battling with this Fibonacci number right there. Matter of fact, let's make that wider. It's always worth emphasizing. You know, and then Ducoscopy's doing a webinar on it, so it's definitely worth letting everybody know. All right, back to our story. All right, there we go. All right, so from there, you can see cable trying to lift up. We're far off. You can see the slow algorithm is just barely across the minus manifold right there line, right there. And at the same time, the fast algo is just touching it. That's all it's doing. So until it gets into a weekly, and it's awful hard to believe because of the way, well, let's put it this way. With the holiday starting this evening, no one in the United States is going to be paying attention to the markets unless they actually need something. Okay, you know, like a company needs to buy something from some country and they have to go get some currency to do it. That's the only thing that will move any of this stuff at this point is an actual execution. And tomorrow, it will be like staring at paint on a wall. The markets will be dead. We'll do our webinar tomorrow morning. I have no problem doing that. And then on Friday, we're back into action on a half a day. You know, so that's our week, and a lot of people turn this into a 5-day vacation. Basically, you know, they have, you know, they know that the markets are going to be the markets today in the United States. Once London and Europe is closed, it'll get real slow this afternoon, and then it'll turn into like watching paint dry. And unless there's some major news out there, nothing's going to move. So, at the same time, what's that got to do with currencies? Chances are we'll be sideways doing nothing unless someone has something to buy or sell, and it's a big quantity, and then it'll have some effect. And but you won't be having the American traders being involved more than just watching from a distance or adjusting their deltas for the option, adjusting their gamma and their delta on the derivative positions. All right, let's take a look at cable. And again, Fibonacci is very good, well worth watching. We do have it up on our screen when people ask us about it, and you can see how our math is ahead of the Fibonacci sequence pretty much most of the time, if not all the time. So, and you can see here, this is cable. I guess now we may be seeing a little bounce because I don't know how many signatures they have now. That would be an interesting thing to find out. Maybe I'll Google that. How many signatures? Unless they're hiding it, you know how Google will do what the left likes. So, how many signatures? Signatures. We saw going into what's today? Wednesday, right? So we saw at the close of Monday, they had 2.2, almost 2.25 million, 2 million and a quarter signatures for Parliament for new elections. So, for election in England. If they're over 3 million, that'll probably be viral petition calling for. Let's see. They're still just showing. Now they're up to 2.5 million. 2.5 million have signed over the last 24 hours. Another 250,000 have signed. This was a couple hours ago. All right. No, wait a minute. It has hit more than 2.7 million now. Okay, they're up to 2.7 million. So this is going to be a real entertainment. That is likely at least some of these signatures are not real. Okay. We'll see. 2.7 million, though. They're definitely shaking up the government over there. I could see the currency showing a little strength, because if they succeed at getting a new election, that would basically tell the taxers, taxes are bad. Taxes are evil. And the fact that we have to put up with them all the time is even worse. It takes money and makes it do stupid things. I think that's the best way to describe it. Yeah, taxes in the end result are very unproductive for the economy. Government workers, minus the military, are unproductive for the economy. In other words, it only slows economies down. It doesn't perk them up. People think, oh, well, government's hiring. This is great. No, it's not, because you have to tax people to take that money. So now government puts employees in to do things, and sometimes those things are not very productive. Matter of fact, most of the time they're not productive, minus the military. So, roads and so forth are very good, but then let the locals take care of that. If you don't tax everybody, then they have money to do other and better things, more productive things. All right, so there's cable, and you're seeing a little pop here, and you can see it's even trying to get into the buy here today. Whereas just like the euro is doing the same exact thing. It's trying to get into the buy right there. Seeing that little push up through the zero line. You can see I guess we got a couple different lines up there. We can get rid of that. Move that zero line right to there. You can see it's going to do a lot of work to get into the weekly buy. I really don't think we're going to see much action on the negative side of the dollar, but we watch the markets every day and follow the numbers in the end result. So, all right, and then from there we go to Swiss. Swiss doing the same exact thing. They're selling the dollar down in all the pairs trades. We're seeing that they're all moving down. You see here, it's playing with a daily sell easily today. Again, the weekly looks very strong. So I just think it's just adjustments and profit taking and things like that. And then we go over to the yen. You can see the yen started this selling a couple days ago. Well, actually yesterday. You can see that. I think we have 3 days, because I don't think we had a green dot. And so maybe we did. You can see it was very close to falling over here, but it didn't. Let's move this over. You can see there, it pressed on it there. And then it stayed in the buy for those 2 days, and then you got this signal here. I think I put it up on the spreadsheet. You can see it. I actually listed, I think this is the third day when it comes to the yen. No, yes. Yeah, this is the third day. See, we have 2 days of sell going on there. 8 weeks in a sell. 8 weeks in a sell? No, 8 weeks in a buy. I'm sorry. 8 weeks in a buy. So, we're seeing that pressure on the yen too. And when the yen is going down, it's gaining against the dollar just like the way the Swiss is. It's gaining against the dollar. So the matter of fact, what's interesting is, look at that. It's actually dropping underneath. It's even more aggressive. So let's put that in there like this. So we're really seeing some real good pressure on the yen, and on a good way. In other words, not a bad way. I think Japan will benefit much more than a lot of the other countries with Trump in office. They're very disciplined, and they're very sensitive to what's needed, and you can get your money back out of Japan. That's the whole difference, is that when you invest in China, it's hard to get your money back out again. That's why we call it the cockroach hotel. You can get in, but you can't get out. And whereas in Japan, you can buy things and invest over there, and if you choose to sell it, there's always a buyer, and you can get your money back out. So that's a big difference, and that's an important thing. That's something we didn't really talk about yesterday when we were looking, or 2 days ago when we were looking at the situation in China, and that story about that. I think that story did say stuff like that. How illiquid they are, and how they're not the best of places to invest in because of things like that. I don't think I mentioned it that clearly. But that is a big story there, and that's why we see the strength in the yen, because I think Japan will benefit a lot more than most realize, and that could put some pressure on some of the stock markets and so forth. Where did they send out? Let's see where it's at. Let's see. See where that's at. Okay, so let's just take a quick look on where I'm going to take a look at where the yen, not the yen, but the Nikkei, and okay, where it went out. Let me just go find it again. There we go. So we're looking for, was it the end? Let me put my glasses on. I think I'm half blind looking over there sometimes. Let's see, that's a lot better. All right, let's see where the Nikkei went out last night. All right, there it is. So the Nikkei, let's see. Looks like it got knocked down. There we are. And Nikkei gapped up the night before on the 25th, and yesterday they sold it down. So last night they sold it down a couple 300 points. It's pretty much going nowhere particular. It's sideways. At least it's off its bottom. Let me just show it to you here real quick. Our platform is down for the moment. I'm not sure why. We're checking on it, but you can see here there's, there it's just sideways basically. But last night they did press it down. Let me just show you right there like that. There it is. Let's go 1 month. See that? Last night they knocked it down. A little surprised because of the strength in the currency. But it is what it is. So there you have the yen gaining against the dollar, like all the others pairs trades. And then we'll take a look at, go to the great experiment. It's trying to push into a daily buy. Interesting. We still have a lot of work to do on the weekly. But you can see here at the end of the box, let's move that box over again, like so. It seems to have bounced off that area. I think this is a Fibonacci number right there. you see that right there. That's a Fibonacci. It played with it, and it's lifting up now. It's banging against the green line, and we'll see. But you can see right here our algorithm is telling us there's some strength coming in on a day-to-day basis. So we might see a couple days of strength, maybe two at least, today and tomorrow, and then we'll see from there how the weekly gets going if we get out of this. This is the 10th week in a sell. So I would think at best we see a weekly buy next week. I would be surprised if we saw one this week. And that would be fantastic. No, let me rephrase that. That would be fantastic in the sense of we got 10 weeks of a weekly sell, which is a fantastic thing. It's a positive. In other words, when the Turkish lira is going down, the population is benefiting from that. When it goes up, they get hurt from it. So the fact that they spent over 2.5 months moving down is a good thing. Now, if we could only get it to stay around here and start to trade like the rest of the currencies, like 36.2 to 36.5 to 36.7 to 36.3. In other words, try to stay inside a very small range. I mean, the handles are just so enormous anymore where it's nothing for it to go 2 or 3 full handles, hundreds of points, and cost the population buying power, And then from there, we take a quick look at the South African Rand, which is really trapped up on this. We kind of see it as more of a downwardly slope, but it's not exactly. It's kind of, it's holding it. It's like a triangle or a flag right there, and we're in a daily buy. Let's grab one of these buys. Been in a buy right there, and it's actually, from there to here, it's a little bit higher, not a lot. It's in a weekly buy, as you can see down below. It doesn't seem to care much about the idea of going down. Remember, when it's going up, it puts pressure on the metals complex, and it means that it's losing against the dollar. I don't really see a lot of news from down there. I don't look for it that hard. So I don't have a strong opinion if they're doing something foolish again. The ANC is in a, what do they call that, a coalition government. So they can't get away with doing too many stupid things like they've done. I mean, the poor currency has done the same adventure as the Turkish lira. It's gone from the 3-4 area to the 20 area. So, I mean, when your currency, you go into a store to buy something with 4 South African rands, nowadays you have to pay, where's it at right now? Right there. You have to pay 17, actually 18.1. So it's not exactly the best of situations when it comes to, the South African rand. It's they've really hurt their economies. Let's widen that out again. There we are. So, it's just hanging out in there. And we're in the 18s. I'm not sure what's the malfunction of that chart, why the 18 is higher. I guess we have to contract it to make it go above. Or let's do this. Let's give it a refresh. Oh, it's a rescale. That's rescaling. Okay. So that's the right way. So up. So if I give it a refresh again and just widen just enough like that, you can see it's in the 18s. Coming from the 17, that's painful. You bought something no more than 3 weeks ago for 17. Now you have to pay 18 for it. That's tough. All right, and then from there, what we do is we go and look at gold right there. And let's put gold up on the screen. There we are. There's gold. There's the February contract. It's moving up. It's trying to get moving. You can see it's moving down in the algorithm, and the weekly algorithm is pushing down. We'll take a look at the front month contract, which will last to the end of this week, and then we'll be moving over to next week to the March contract. That's dollar index. Right there. You can see we got a green and a red going on there. There's some real strength kicking out. You can see we've got, pressure there. like so. And what else can we say about gold? Um, Take a look at silver. There is the March contract in silver, trying to lift up also. It's been in the sell and has gone nowhere from that sell. Right there. And that is the March contract. Let's take a look at the front month December contract right there. So you can see pressure on that. Same gig, same time. And then that's silver. Silver's pretty quiet, but we're getting a green and a red again. So maybe we'll see some action. I just trying to think what's going to happen, news-wise. What comes up? I think we have. What do we have? We have next week. We have the labor number. But again, with Mr. Trump being the president in about 7 weeks, like 7 weeks, it's not as important. We already know what kind of shape the economy's in. When it comes to employment, we'll probably see it again. Where 9 quarters now, 2 years and 3 months, we've been losing private sector jobs and only gaining government-orientated jobs. Be it medical or actual like commerce department stuff. In other words, are just hiring people. So because a lot of people don't want to come back to work because of COVID, they're still hiding and they're getting paid at the same time. What do we have here? From there, we go to copper. Now, copper, this is very close to being the front month. And you can see here, it's been in a daily sell from there. And you can see the pressure on it on the weekly. And I don't see it really jumping back up. And obviously, with Mr. Trump being the president, they're going to, basically move towards more fair trade with China. Fair trade. So from there, we'll go over to platinum. There's platinum January contract. Still dragging down towards the lows in a sell from here. And, we had that classic green and red, and the next day they smack-a-doodled it. And you can see the pressure on the weekly. It's just marching down. All right, and then from there, where do we go from there? And from there, we go back to, I guess we go look at the energies. That's what we really do now, is we go and check out energy companies. Where is it? Let's check out crude oil here in the States. You see it's trying to lift up a little bit. It was down yesterday, just a tad, nothing major. You see it's flirting with the weekly sell. Same thing we saw with Brent. Let's put Brent up over here. And there's Brent. Brent is trying to lift. It's still below. It's still down for the day. Let's get over there. They're working on the platform to get it back up. You can see right there, Brent is, below yesterday's close, and it's trying to, perk up with a green candle. And we were in a weekly sell yesterday, and since it's below to yesterday's close, it's still in that weekly sell. And what else can we say about Brent? That it's trying to lift up. The chart says there it's up 43 cents, which seems odd because yesterday it settled at 72. Where did it settle? At 72.81, and it's trading at 72.75, and it's below where it closed yesterday. So to me, that's a minus. I don't know why we're seeing it say up 43 cents. You get a couple different closes with these energies, because it's such a global market. So And when we get the other platform up, we will still saying that it's not there yet. So once that's back up, we'll get to that. So then from there, we jump over to natural gas. There it is, natural gas. It's the January contract. I think it's the January contract. No, it's December. No, that's bonds. There it is right there, January contract. You see it's still selling off for a third day. And now the weekly is drifting in, which, here we are heading into the coldest, or let's say the darkest day in the northern hemisphere of our planet. We are the closest. We're getting the closest to the sun for the whole year. But we're still. This is the coldest. This is the cold seasons here for the northern hemisphere on Earth, and so we're seeing. We're seeing a little pullback here in natural gas because our temperatures have been relatively calm. Matter of fact, I think today is one of the first days we've seen a freezing day. We're actually at 0 Celsius today. Actually, we're flirting with -1 Celsius here in the States. Well, here in southern New Jersey, along the East Coast, out west, they've already seen the zeros. They've been below the minuses, the minus zeros. So. And that's natural gas. And then from there, we go over and we look at heating oil right there. And you can see heating oil pressuring down sideways more than anything else. But you can see it's flirting. See, it's minus 0.0032. So it is flirting. The weekly is flirting. We got a little circle thing going on just like we do in crude oil right there. And so heating oil, which is used for the airplanes, it's one of the most processed manufactured from oil we have when it comes to energy sources. So we call it heating oil here in the States, but a lot of people in the world call it kerosene or diesel. Both of them are basically the same grade, just a little cleaned up one compared to the other. But they burn that for airplane engines, and that's their fuel, and for diesel trucks and for heating homes. About a quarter of the homes in the United States use heating oil. All right, and so there is the heating oil. So from there we go over to Oh, we can't see. Can we see with let's find the let's see, we'll find that energy company down in Spain and see what they're up to this morning. They've been trading down nicely. We're in weekly sells in it. It's not really making any challenges. Let's put it up on the screen now. There it is right there. There we are. There we are. Let's get 1 month in there. There we go. And you can see there, this is the energy company down in Spain, or over in Spain. And you can see it's been sideways quiet. It's been in that weekly sell, I think, for like 7-8 weeks now. And was in there yesterday, and due to the fact that it's actually a little bit lower today than yesterday, I would assume it's still in the weekly sell, but no problem. And it's tried to make a nice bounce. We've seen this before. We get a little bounce like that, and we had some daily buys in it. But overall, it's not doing too well. Let's put it that way. It's not gaining, which is very positive for Europe. The whole idea is cheaper energy is a good thing, not a bad thing. Stops people from freezing to death. And then from there, that's pretty much the name of the story. So with the platform down, what should we look at today? We could go roam around, take a look at some of the other things that are going on. We don't usually, sometimes we take a look at some of the commodities, and we always look at some of the world markets, and we can look at some of the world markets. Let's see what they did for China. Let's see how China, Shanghai did last night. We'll see if it's just in a plus or a minus. That alone is always interesting to see. We won't be able to see it. It's in a weekly, has been in a weekly buy. It's starting to flirt with the weekly sell. When the platform's back up, we'll be able to see that tomorrow, or see what's going on there. And let's put it there. Okay, so they lifted that up last night. They've been playing it down, and then there was a pop there. And then we'll take a look and see what Hong Kong did. Let's see, where is it? Hong Kong. There's Hong Kong. Hong Kong also lifted. They're doing a little buying in there. Maybe they, there's so many. I would say until I see strength in copper. When I start to see strength in copper, then I start to believe we're seeing something, positive. But until we see some strength in copper, I have my doubts about China's growth. Definitely. I think copper itself is always a good example of what's going on. And when you look at a copper contract, you basically realize that it's not doing anything more than going sideways down. What else can we say about that? From there, I guess for some reason, Mr. Biden is trying to spend every dime that he can get his hands on. These leftists, that's all they do is throw people's money away. But let's take a look at Taiwan. Where's Taiwan? There's Taiwan. Let's put Taiwan up on the screen. Right there. Taiwan. Isn't that interesting that they're pushing Taiwan down? And all that money's pouring into the chip sector. I think they even gave Taiwan $1 billion a couple days ago. And from there, we go to see what the Kospi. The Kospi, what's been interesting is watching South Korea. You would think that they would benefit from all this, but they've been sloppy down. I think that's the best way to describe it, is just sloppy down. It's got a bounce going on in South Korea. And they did a little selling there. So we see Hong Kong and Shanghai up firm, and then we turn around and we see Taiwan, Tokyo, South Korea down. And when we look at the U.S. stock market, let's just take a look at the U.S. stock market right here at the moment. You see the S&P 500 right there. Let's go over to that right there. You see the S&P 500. This is the daily chart, looking very firm in a daily buy and a weekly buy. What's that? This is going on a 6th day of a daily buy, and the slope is up. It might be. You can see it's only down $1.50. It's very quiet. You can see here on the where's it at? The Dow Jones Industrial Average. Well, there's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That's doing the same. It's at another all-time high at this moment right now, right there. And you can see, 5 days in a buy. This is the 5th day in a buy. It's been in a weekly buy for, what's that? This is a 4th week in a buy. So you're seeing a lot of strength there. We're seeing what a lot of money managers are saying is that they're seeing a lot of diversity. In other words, they're not just buying like the Magnificent Seven. Matter of fact, the Magnificent Seven are only up like 3%, whereas the rest of these things since the election, they're up like 8, 9%. They're showing some real strength in there. You see the Nasdaq, which is the Tech 100, which is governed greatly by the the Magnificent Seven. You see here, it went to an all-time high after the election, a couple days after the election. There's the 7th and the 8th and all like that. But then you see it sold down, and it still hasn't gotten back up there. Whereas the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average both are flirting with all-time highs. See that right there? You see there's the all-time high after the election. They're right up there again. And yesterday they were there. And at the same time, you see the Dow Jones Industrial Average doing the same exact thing, showing that all-time high push. And then the Russell 2000, which has gained a lot. These are the weakest index we follow in the United States. It's got a lot, like they have companies in this index that I think the most to be in here, you have to be under $5 billion as a company, and low as I think they take half like 500 million. I think so it's between there. Then there's 2,000 of them, and right here is the chart. And you see, this is not an all-time high. The all-time high is let's see if we can put this up on the screen here. Where is it at? We'll go take a longer look. I mean, it hasn't seen the all-time high in I think like 4 years or something like that. Let's see if we have it on here. Where is it at? I think we have it as the IWM. We have the ETF. And so what we'll do is we'll put that. What we might do is we probably have it on here. Let's see if I have the IWM here. I must have it somewhere. Let's do this. Open. Robin stock. Let's put it in there. Let's see. There we go. There's Tesla. Week. There it is right there. Let's go back and see how many days. They're just going 300. So let's make it 1,500. Okay. Let's do the weekly the same way. There we are. Now this is the Russell 2000. This is our weakest index. You can see as we put it up on the screen, you see we are at some really high areas, 242. And then you see how it leaped over this area here in August, which was very high. Let's see if we can scrunch this down and see how far back we can go. And you'll see how weak it has been. It's got to 190, 180, 160. It dropped pretty dramatically. And here is, let's see, there is 2019. So we haven't been up to this area in a long while. Let me just check it on the other chart. That's what was always so nice about J4X. It goes back much further than some of the things I have on here. Let's see. IWM. There we are. 5 years. All time. Calculating. So we could be flirting with the all-time high in that. I didn't think we were, but we might be. There we are. Yeah, we're looking at an all-time high at this point. Let's just put that up. So that's challenging. And when you see, what the NQ or the QQQ or the Nasdaq 100, it's all the same index. When you see the most speculative lifting, let's see right there. That was at the end of the Trump era, right? What is that? Yeah. As soon as that's 2021. So I guess let's see, that's where he gave the office up, right there. Where is it at? And you can see it in a few months, and then it broke down. And so now, with him backing off, it's you see it's climbed back up to all-time highs. And what we used to do for many years, many decades, the Tech 100 was a very weak index. Matter of fact, it made all-time highs at 5,000. Let me just show you where it's at now. But it made all-time highs at 5,000 in the year 2000. Okay, 2001 at the tech bubble. And let me just go over there again. Let's see right there. And then you can see, let's see, where is it at? Right there. This is the Tech 100. This is now it's actually, this index now is a very strong, powerful. It's at 20,000 now. And it went into, I guess we could probably show you how it did that. Let's see if we can put that in here. QQQ. And we go take a look at it on a 6-month basis. And we take a look at it 1 year basis. And then there's 1 year and then 5 years. And let's see how far back they go when it goes to all time. So here is, what is that? That is 2000. That was the all-time high right there. And you can see how long it took. It wasn't until 2015 that it finally challenged it. 15 years it couldn't get back to the all-time high. And then Mr. Trump came in, and you can see this explosion in it. There is there's Mr. Biden taking control, and it got sold down. And then, going into 23 and 24, you can see, it definitely jumped back up above the all-time high. And we're at all-time highs now. But that used to be a very weak index, just the way the Russell 2000 was. It was a very weak index. A lot of companies didn't make it. And once in a while you had, in other words, at one time Intel was in that index. Or Microsoft and Apple and all those, when they were like dollar stocks. And then they've become major themes now. The number one telephone manufacturer, and Intel was one of the top chip companies at one point. It's been just taken out of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Things like that. It's been very fascinating that now the Russell is the weakest of the 4 indices, and we watch that, and it tells us, when money is coming in and buying speculative stocks, it usually tells us that there's a bull market coming around the corner. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. It'll be a quieter market, but that's quite all right. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day. Let's see. And our platform is back up again, too, at the same time. There we go. I think we'll send you out with... what were we looking at that we were wondering about? I forget what it was. Well, you know what? Tune in tomorrow. The platform is back in action, back in the saddle again. Let's take a look at Brent. Just a quick look at it. And then I'm out of here. Because I've already sung my song. Brent, BZ. Where are you? Brent. There it is. And there is the Brent, and it is still in the weekly sell. See that right there? Alrighty. Ta-ta.